Hello YouTube, how you doing? This is Keith Kevin Kent. I hope you're doing well. Hey, it's Friday as I record this in October 2017. I wasn't going to do a video today because this video that I'm about to do I thought needed more setup, and I was going to do it over the weekend, but you know what? We're going to fly. We're going to do this on the fly. You're going to see a whole bunch of knives at the end of this, so stay tuned. What does the Nirvana, the Myrtle, the classic Domino, and the classic Southern have in common? Well, Spyderco just announced yesterday that they are discontinuing those knives, and I don't know, maybe 20 more. People have been reporting this. And there are some excellent YouTube channels who have been reading off the list of the knives that have been discontinued. It is a bunch of knives. And I sat down and said, wait, I have all these knives. Why don't I give people a picture of the knives? Almost 90%, 99% of the knives you're going to see, I have a longer review of the knife on this channel in the Knife of the Day playlist. So I'm going to go through these very quickly, but I want to let you see the knives and recognize the knives that Spyderco has just discontinued. Now, a word about knives being discontinued. First of all, there are three big things. Spyderco, as you know, delivers a lot of knives. You can see that on my channel, a lot of variety. And the way they do that is if a knife isn't selling or difficult to make and they think they've made enough, they will discontinue it, take it out of their catalog. The good news is if they're discontinued, a lot of distributors, some of your big ones, I've heard GP Knives is talking about selling discontinued knives. You can get some of these great knives, a lot of them, some of the most expensive Spyderco knives, at a discounted price. So this could be a wonderful time for you to pick up one of these knives. The other thing, I'm a collector, obviously, and so the great thing about discontinuing knives means that there are going to be less of them in the future. So sometimes when I'm doing knives on this channel, I get comments like, man, I didn't even know that exists. I can't find those anymore. Well, if you look at the first 100 to 120 knives on this channel, all of them are discontinued knives. And so sometimes they go up in big time price. So if you own one, you can get it at a discounted price, hold on to it, and maybe even sell it later for more. Or this is a great time to go gift shopping. If you wanted someone to have a great knife from Spyderco, but you just couldn't afford it. Let's start with a huge classic. It's the Southern. Now remember, just because they have discontinued these knives, don't mean that they're not available. These have been on the catalog. They are at shops now. So shop around. In the next day, week or so, you'll start seeing these discounted. But man, oh man, what a classic. This Southern was the very first flipper that Spyderco ever came out with. It's a Brad Southern flipper. Later, yeah, these are going to be real messy. Later, they came out with a blacked out version, which I prefer. Both of these are available. Catch the blackout version. It's just a little bit more smoother, but both of them wonderful frame lock knives. Again, the very first flipper from Spyderco. I talked about the Domino. They just discontinued the Domino. I think one of the best flippers from Spyderco with that classic leaf shape. Really a classic leaf shape and just wonderful. It came with that domino pattern that everyone wanted to change, and then later they came with some very nice, let's see how we can do this, a lot of variations. Spyderco came out with a lot of variations in colors, etc. This may go long. I'm going to try to make it as short as possible, but I want you to get a picture of these, because even when people were talking about lists and I own these knives, I had forgotten what they were. A lot, like I said, I'm recording this in 2017. A lot of the 2016 anniversary knives, and Spyderco released a lot of them, are now discontinued already. Again, so they're discontinued sometimes because they just didn't find a marketplace. People didn't want to buy them. This was a funky knife, the Introvert knife, that just fits real nice, has that finger hole, has a back lock, can open up with the Spidey hole with the back lock, and also use that to flip it open. Unique knife. I could see how a lot of those wouldn't be sold, and Spyderco discontinued it. So you can see a whole variation of knives. We talked about the domino. Here's the dice. The smaller version of the domino has also been discontinued. Remember, a great time to take a look at these knives, and if these are knives you've been thinking about buying, this might be a great time to buy. Might be a wonderful time to buy. Oh my goodness, the Nirvana? Won Blade Show Awards, the most anticipated knife. All of these, again, I'm not giving a lot of description. A lot of these are already on the channel with a lot of description. But my goodness, this is the most expensive knife that I've bought from Spyderco new. It is now discontinued. The production of this knife was hard to do because it's all one piece of titanium for the handle, so I could see that. The Nirvana, again, just like a lot of the other knives, this was a 2016 year release. Just beautiful titanium bolsters, marble carbon fiber, but again, a different kind of recurve blade, and people just didn't pick it up, and so that was disconnected. We were talking about the Southern. Well, the Southern did the first Spyderco knife, and then they came back with the positron. This is the original positron, smaller, lighter, and then Knife Center exclusive. But look at these two. All right now of the Southerns have been discontinued. Of course, he's coming out with a brand new flipper that will have a compression lock later this year in 2017. The Mamba. I can only say that. This huge flipper. Again, another 2016 knife. It is huge. I know it's not that practical because it's so big. It's really tactical, but it did not sell well. But all titanium liners, wonderful carbon fiber. This is a nice knife, by the way. It's just a nice knife. Expensive, did not sell. You might be able to pick it up at a good price. The tie stick. Brian Tye's collaboration. A lot of collaborations with some very famous knife makers are now discontinued. Again, some of these will become collector's items because a lot of them have not been produced. Another anniversary year knife is the Little Lion Spy. That has been discontinued. I love the Lion Spy. The little one is easier to carry, but just couldn't find its place in the marketplace. Again, I want to give you a visual of the knives that have been discontinued because there have been a gigantic amount of knives. The Denmark, made for Denmark to be legal in Denmark, Pingo, has been discontinued. That's the original. I put tags for all the names on these. I told you it would be a rough video, but I hope it's good to see all of these knives together. And the Sprint Run, all steel Pingo tie, that's all titanium Pingo, have been discontinued. These are non-locking slip joint knives that are legal in Denmark. They have now been discontinued. This breaks my heart. I don't know why. Beautiful knife, the Spyderco Spearhead. It's a keychain knife or one of these dog tag knives you could wear around your neck. Just a wonderful knife. Of course, I have a review on this and all the other ones on this channel in this playlist, but that has been discontinued because people just didn't want to buy it, I guess. And you know, the collaboration with Serge on his dog tag knives, he did 4 dog tag knives, just released the 4th one. This was the second one. This was the blacked out dog tag knife. This is the only one that has been discontinued so far. So the multicolored one, the carbon fiber one, and the brand new one has not been discontinued. You guys know that I love the Cricket. I did a review of the 3 oldest Crickets in my collection, and I did 2 Sprint Run Crickets in my collection. I haven't done the most modern Crickets in my collection. I will do that. The last 4 of them all together. This is one of them. This has been discontinued. This is the ugliest one to me too. It really is. I never carry it because it's so ugly. It's the ladybug. Sorry, not ladybug. I'm sorry. Sorry. It's the Cricket tattoo. The Cricket tattoo. You see the little, yeah, see the cricket on it? Yeah. I'm surprised that wasn't discontinued earlier. One of the newer ones, but this has been discontinued. Obviously, there are a whole bunch of other Crickets that still are available. You know, they discontinued some of my knives that, again, were released 2016 that have become one of my favorite small knives. The Rango has been discontinued. Altai with that blue carbon fiber, that wonderful blade, just a small knife, has been discontinued. I'm showing you all these knives, and you can get a better review of those on some of my other videos, but might be a good chance. You know, a lot of these smaller knives, this is the Firefly by Peter Carey. Again, one of my favorites. Smooth G10 with carbon fiber bolsters. Again, a lot of reasons these don't sell is these are very expensive for the small knife that you get. And so now they'll probably, as people start trying to clear their shelves of the discontinued, you might be able to get those at a very good price. I always call this a simple but very big and nice knife. It's the Spyderco Mike Draper. Again, Spyderco released a hell of a lot of knives on their 40th anniversary year in 2016. I made a promise to myself to buy every single one of them. Almost went broke doing that. That's why I have a lot of these discontinued knives. But you can see a lot of variety. Spyderco clearing up their catalog for some of their newer knives. That's the Mike Draper. Again, not inexpensive. Now you might be able to get it at a decent price. This is a non-locking knife with a very strong spring. It's the Pitts Pie in the Sky. Spyderco first released an Altai version of it. That is not discontinued. The blue is discontinued. It's very good. It's not inexpensive, but if you're looking for a very strong, I always have to use 2 hands, non-locking knife that's light, looks beautiful, deep carry clip. I've done a review on both of these, but this one is discontinued. This one, to me, I don't know, but I smell that this is going to be a very rare one. You know, a lot of times I'll show you guys a knife and say it's discontinued, and you guys say, I can't find it even on the secondary market. That's the kind of knife that does that. You know, Spyderco wanted to go with a friction folder. One reason I like Spyderco is the variety of the knives. I also admire Eric and Sal Glesser and how they experiment. They're trying to make a business, and they're a big business, and they sell a lot of knives. But they do go out of their way to try new things, like the Nirvana and a lot of other knives. This, they wanted a friction folder, no clip. You needed this. Didn't sell well. I don't blame them. I don't carry it much, but this is the friction folder that has been discontinued. Sorry that this is going so long, but I really want you guys to see all the discontinued knives instead of just hearing names of knives, because again, some of these may be collectible and others it's your chance to find and buy at a reasonable price. This is the blue fluted titanium military. Now, let me just tell you now, this has been discontinued for years. There is a regular fluted titanium military that I don't have because I have the blue one. That has been discontinued. That's a wonderful all-tie military with a frame lock. Okay, a frame lock all-tie that's fluted. That is still in the catalog. It has just been disconnected. Grab that. That's just a great carry. If you're a military fan, they have a pure titanium military, but the fluted is just beautiful. Again, the blue fluted has been discontinued for a while because they just couldn't get that blue right. I was lucky enough to get a good one. Talking about fluted tie, the fluted tie Native 5 has been discontinued. Again, what a wonderful native. It's just all fluted tie handles. Everything else is pure native, made in the USA. And again, expensive. You can get a good price for this knife. Man, that would be a good buy. Now's the time to start searching for a fluted tie. I think that too, as time goes on, probably will cost a lot more than we would expect. Yeah, not surprised. Well, let's see. I'm surprised that it took so long for my Zabel Hawk Urban axe. If you guys hear, people are cleaning the hallways, sweeping the hallways, if you can hear that. But this has been discontinued. I'm surprised it stayed so long. A lot of people don't need an urban axe, but I keep it by my front door. So you see all the folders that they've discontinued. Now starting to see some of the fixed blades. This is the reverse. This is the knife that you could, a tactical knife that you can unscrew and flip depending on how you like your knife, with the tip forward or the tip back. That was called the reverse. It is now discontinued. They have discontinued the Temperance 2. I love the Temperance with the micarta handles, this big fixed blade knife. Again, a lot of Spydercos, the good quality fixed blades, are expensive. This is not a cheap knife. Might be a good time for you guys to pick it up. Oh, my baby. Yes, I'm doing ghetto torn up papers to remind me of the name. This is the Puukko, the Puukko. I've done the review. The G10 version has been discontinued. The Arizona wood version has not been. What a nice knife. Feels great. Go check out that review. You might want to find one of those and pick it up. Doesn't surprise me, though, that it's been discontinued. Hey, that's a messy desk of a lot of discontinued knives before running off to work late on a Friday. Everyone's reporting on these knives. I happen to have all of them. They also, a couple of them that aren't on the table, and I have a couple of them, they discontinued a lot of the Salt series knives. I think they're about ready to introduce some new non-rust knives in the weeks, months, and years to come. Again, discontinued does not mean they're not available. It means it's an opportunity for you guys to get some of these great knives at reduced prices. Also, for you guys to decide whether you want to hold on to yours, because now you know that the numbers have just been cut off, which is a good thing for people if you're a collector. I hope this was useful. I hope you enjoyed it. At least you saw a mess of knives. Spyderco, the reason I did this was yesterday Spyderco announced their discontinued knives for 2018, and that's 98.5% of them. I hope you guys have a perfect day. Take good care of yourselves. Sorry for the long video, but I hope it's useful. Keep those pockets full. I've got a desk full of knives. Have a good one. Goodbye.